How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Sector 6, and today we're going to be talking a little bit more about Crisis Core Reunion. Now, I know it's been a few days since the last video. I've been a bit busy this last week doing some decorating at home, but we're going to be getting back on it. There's going to be a video coming about the Final Fantasy 16 interviews that we recently had. I'm going to get that done in the next few days. We're also going to take a look at the Ever Crisis trailer from the other week and see if there's anything that we can see in that. We're going to go through it, and then we're going to get down to some more theory crafting. But in the short term, I just wanted to get this video out, and this video is going to be talking, like I say, about the Whispers. But before we jump into that, there's one quick thing that I want to ask. Now, a question's been posted on Twitter by Schrodinger's Baby Seal. Go and give him a follow if you don't already. But the question is, which version of Stamp do you think we are going to see in Crisis Core Reunion? Do you think we're going to see Beagle Stamp, like we did in Remake? Or do you think we're going to see Terrier Stamp, like we did at the end of Remake and at the end of Zack's final battle? Let me know what you think. Hop over to Twitter, answer the post that Baby Seal's dropped, share some thoughts. But anyway, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe for future content. It does help. We're getting closer and closer to 1k, but let's get on with it. So when we looked at the trailer of Crisis Core Reunion recently, everything looked pretty much identical to how it looked in the original Crisis Core. And the question was, do we think we're going to see any changes? Do you think it's going to stay the same? And I kind of came to the conclusion in my mind that it will probably be the same 99% of the way. And then maybe we get a special, like a secret ending at the end of Final Fantasy VII Reunion. After we see the original ending, we then get the remake ending, and maybe a little bit extra. Who knows? But there was a tweet today from the Japanese Final Fantasy VII Remake Twitter, where it kind of discusses Crisis Core and shows a few side-by-side shots. But at the end it says, whether you're playing at the time or haven't played yet, please enjoy the prequel of Final Fantasy VII Remake with vivid graphics. And that's interesting terminology, that. It could be that the person who did the tweet kind of messed up. It could be that they're just going with Final Fantasy VII Remake because that's the thing that's trending at the minute and that everyone's kind of interested in. Or it could be that this is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake and not to Final Fantasy VII, like Crisis Core was. And if that's the case, that opens up the possibility to quite a few changes in Crisis Core Reunion. Which brings us back to the Whispers. And one of the main things that kind of makes me think we are probably going to see the Whispers a fair bit in Crisis Core Reunion is the fact that we see them in the Zack scene at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And this is before the Singularities exploded or anything like that, so why were the Whispers there? Now, we know from Final Fantasy VII Remake that the Whispers tend to only make themselves apparent or interject in what's going on if there's going to be a tangible and substantial change to the timeline and to the events that are kind of laid out before each of the characters that we already know about, their destinies. And they wouldn't have known that the Singularity was going to happen, I don't think. Like, that's one possibility, that they were already there because of the Singularity and they knew that that was coming. But that itself was a change in the timeline. So the Whispers wouldn't know it was going to happen. They might have known that something weird was going to happen. That's one possibility. But the other possibility is, what if someone's already been changing the timeline and working to affect things? What if we're going to see in Crisis Core Reunion the thing that triggers the changes in Final Fantasy VII Remake? And this is why I think we could see the Whispers a lot more, because if things are changing in Crisis Core Reunion that are then going to have a knock-on effect and change things in Remake, the Whispers are going to be there to try and stop that, and that would then explain why we already see them in the ending scene. I don't know, it's an interesting possibility. It's just a quick one. I just wanted to throw this one out there as kind of something for people to ponder on and something for people to have a little bit of discussion on. But I suppose the big question is, do you think we're going to see the Whispers in Crisis Core Reunion outside of that ending scene? So we all know that they're probably going to show up in the ending scene. Do you think we're going to see them anywhere else? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what other kind of theories you've got. Let me know what you think about, like I said at the start of the video, which version of Stamp are we going to see? It could be that we see Crisis Core with a Terrier timeline Stamp all the way through it. It's probably going to be Beagle, but you never know. Anything could go down. Like I say, let me know your thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget, like and sub to the channel. We're nearly there. We're so close to 1k. But more importantly than all that, have a great day.